Managing difficult meeting personalities. We've all spent way too much time in chaotic, draining, time-wasting meetings. Meetings can be ineffective for a number of reasons, and one of the most common culprits is difficult personalities. We've all seen them. The dominator. They're bullying the rest of the group with their aggressive personality. They feel strongly about almost everything and they want to be sure everyone knows it. The mute. They're the opposite of the dominator. They almost never speak up. And as a result, the team isn't sure if they're really in agreement, if they're just too afraid to voice their own opinions, or completely checked out of the process and just mentally planning the best route home to beat traffic. The rambler. They haven't met a topic that they don't love to talk about. And when they give their input, it's almost always the long War and Peace version, when the team would much prefer the quick Cliff Notes version. They also take the group off into long-winded tangent discussions that really don't relate to the topic at hand. We want to save ourselves from their diatribe, but we just don't know how. The complainer. This is the one who complains about everything. They come to the meeting to vent about everything from no lotion in the bathroom to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And they not only drain crucial meeting time with their complaining, they also drag down team morale in the process. The slacker. They're just never prepared. Instead of coming to the meeting with their task completed, they always seem to show up with their flavor of the month excuse. They always have a reason why they couldn't just get to it, or better yet, they never realized it was assigned to them in the first place. If you have one or more of these difficult personalities in your meeting, it can quickly spiral downward into a nightmare. The good news is that there are specific facilitation techniques that anyone can learn to effectively address these difficult personalities and get your meeting back on track. Here are just a few examples. Let's take the meeting dominator. When someone starts to dominate, the leader's natural tendency is to try to shut them down. The danger, though, is that when we push on people, the visceral response is for them to push back. They often feel like they're not being heard or valued, so they need to make their point again, and again, and again. Instead of immediately trying to shut them down, consider the approach I call complement, document, and pivot. It might sound something like this. Jim, that's a really great point. I don't think we'd considered outsourcing the conference planning before, but I can definitely see the potential time and cost savings. I want to be sure we don't miss that point, so let's jot it down and try to generate a few more. Susan, I'm wondering if you have other ideas that also might help save time or cost. Another technique is the round robin technique. With this technique, instead of allowing everyone to comment on a topic or issue, you ask the group to comment one by one. And of course, if your dominator is sitting to your left, you'll start with the person sitting to your right. This way, the dominator will still get their turn to speak, but now that you've instituted a process, they will need to hold their comment until their turn. If you're interested in learning additional techniques for designing and running effective meetings, consider purchasing one of our instructional DVDs or bringing a facilitation training workshop on site. Our facilitation training workshops include interactive mock meeting role-play simulations and cover topics like understanding the role of the facilitator, exploring how and why meetings go south, defining your PAL to provide a foundation for your meeting, setting the stage for success with 6 key questions, reviewing your pre-meeting checklist, techniques for managing those difficult meeting personalities, debriefing your meeting and why it's important, and tips for managing conference calls or virtual meetings. Most importantly, it won't be another one of those dreadfully boring presentations or training sessions where you'd rather watch paint dry. Whether you're interested in a keynote presentation for a conference or lunch and learn, or a half or full day training workshop, the session will be highly interactive and packed with practical tips that participants can begin using immediately. Contact us today at info@professionalismmatters.com or call us at 678 777 7188.